For a government worker, for like my uncle, he didn't pay into Social Security, so he's never got Social Security benefits. And now he's eligible. Like, wait a minute, what does this mean? I'm John Shear, and I run a fee-only financial planning practice in Middleton, Wisconsin.
I'm Bridget Sullivan Ramel. I've got a fee-only financial planning practice in Chicago, Illinois. And before we talk Social Security, we just want to remind you to like and subscribe so that other people can find us. So, John, Social Security Fairness Act. You've had some recent experience about this, and we wanted to talk about it some more. So, why don't you let us kick us off?
Yeah, no, this is kind of exciting for me because we had a guest on the show not long ago, Denny Haywood, who runs Social Security Solutions, does consulting work for individuals along Social Security. He used to work for SSA for a long time. We'll put a link in the show notes to that episode. You should check it out. But one of the things that he said that I learned from him in that episode, Bridget, was about the Social Security Fairness Act, which was signed, I believe it was December of 24, late in the year anyway, last year. And what it said, what it basically did is it eliminated the government pension offset for certain government workers. Among other things, there are some other provisions in the bill, but the one big one, the one that I have some direct experience with, is this government pension offset. And in short terms, what that means is that certain government employees were exempt from Social Security, so they didn't pay into the system, and then therefore they didn't get any benefits. And they weren't allowed to get any benefits even as a spouse or as a survivor. And we'll talk about that in a minute, what that means. But that the new bill, the Social Security Fairness Act, allowed them to be eligible for benefits like anybody else would.
Right.
And the big thing is that many people who fall into this category, and a lot of folks down in Illinois in the public sector, right? Teachers and state local government employees, right? I know it really affects folks in your area, a little bit less so here in Wisconsin, other than certain federal employees. But so it's not like, oh, everybody who's a government employee. Nope, it's not who it affects, right? So you got to look and pay attention to this. But if this is the case, I'll just give the example. I've actually got an uncle who used to work for the federal government, and he was at a time when he did not pay into Social Security, so he's never got Social Security benefits. So why? And now he's eligible. Like, wait a minute, what does this mean? So if you think about how Social Security works, is that when a person gets to retirement age, I can claim all of my benefit, or I can claim half of my spouse's benefit, whichever is higher. And if you think about this, if I was a stay-at-home parent my whole career, let's say I never earned a nickel, never paid a dime into Social Security, and my wife Allison worked her whole career, and let's say her Social Security benefit was $3,000 a month, even though I didn't pay in a dime, I get to claim all of mine, zero, or half of hers, $1,500, right? So even though just because I stayed at home, took care of the family, no problem. For a government worker, for like my uncle, he didn't pay into Social Security. My aunt did pay in. She had a regular job, right? So she paid in, but he's not eligible to claim on her spousal benefit. So I didn't pay anything in. I get to claim on my spouse's benefit. He didn't pay anything in, but he doesn't get to claim on his spouse's. That's a government pension offset, right? So that's where the sort of core of like, why is this eligible now? Like, that's some of the background on it. And of course, I'm giving the high level. There's some more specific nuances, but that's generally how this thing works. The Social Security Fairness Act here implemented last year says no, those people are allowed to claim a spousal benefit or a survivor benefit, those things. And that's what happened with my uncle. And I don't know their exact numbers, but his wife was my aunt was a regular worker. If her Social Security benefit was $2,000 a month, he's never been able to claim the spousal benefit all these years. Now he can claim his $1,000 a month as a spouse, and it's retroactive. But I know that he got 6 months worth of payments that he should have gotten, so it was backdated. I think that might change depending on the circumstances, but my understanding is it's 6 months of back pay. So it's one of those things that, hey, if you're in this situation, you need to be aware of it.
Right, exactly. And so from what I've seen with clients and friends is that if you're in the Social Security system, they've been pretty good about proactively changing things and sending you a check. I'm not saying that I'm probably, knowing how life is, it's probably not 100% accurate and that some people would need to change things and call them and deal with it. But they've been, like, I would say, surprisingly good about reaching out and giving people and saying, hey, here you go. It's worth it to check and see, especially if you're not in their system. Like, I wasn't eligible, I never applied. Like,
Right.
those are people who they might benefit from this bill, and that the Social Security system wouldn't just reach out to you.
And my understanding on that one, Bridget, is that if somebody has applied and had their benefits reduced by the government
Right.
pension offset, or there's another thing called the windfall elimination provision that
Right.
applies in here. So if you've already applied and maybe you're getting some, but they're reduced, or you applied and been rejected, you're in the system, that's when that automatic, like, oh, they know you're here.
Right.
Somebody like my uncle had never applied because he's like, I don't get benefits, right? And so those are the people that for sure have to, but it's one of those things like, hey, be aware, double check that. If you've already gotten a big check, right, you probably know it, but if you haven't, just check on that and see if you're eligible. And I'll tell you, and I appreciate your like, hey, they do a good job, but nothing's perfect. I know my experience. I helped my uncle walk through this. It was one phone call. They actually, and we were on hold for a long time. They called back, and it was within a matter of weeks that the things got filed, approved, and a check got sent out. So they've got some folks that are dedicated to this and understand it. And again, less than a month from starting the whole process to being in the system, getting the payment that they were due. It's worth calling in and finding out about, right? And just being
That's
aware.
a great place to wrap it up. Hi, Bridget Sullivan Mermel. I've got a family financial planning practice in Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm John Shear. I've got a fee only financial planning practice in Middleton, Wisconsin. Both Bridget and I are taking on new clients. We'd love to hear from you, but we're also both members of the Alliance of Comprehensive Planners. So if you like what you hear on our show and would like to find an advisor in your area, please check out acplanners.org.
And don't forget to subscribe.